Hello YouTube, Bimmer7 guy here, and we're going to be working on this W211 again, OM642 diesel. We're going to go through and we're going to be replacing some stuff today. Alright, well, let's get to it. The first step you'll need to do is remove this engine cover. And then after that, you wonder, how am I going to do all this with all this awesomeness? Well, we'll go over that here in just a moment. Alright, today we're going to be replacing this fuel filter here and also these hoses. This one is leaking, which, let's see, you can see right there, it's also got the wrong clamp on it. Both of those do, but we're going to replace both of those lines and the filter. Then we're going to bleed it. And yeah, and this is the filter I got here that we'll be replacing. The Hanks filter, made in Bulgaria. Pretty cool. Got it off FCP Euro, so lifetime free replacement. Gotta love it. Let's go ahead and try and get it on. Alright, and so we're going to be loosening this clamp, this clamp, this clamp, undoing this connection, and this connection here. And we're going to be loosening this air box, moving it to the side, and we'll pull the pipe out and replace the alright, 7mm. Loosen this right up here. Alright, now that all those are loose, we shall undo these connections here. There's just two tabs on each side. Press it, pull it out. Alright, now with those connections undone, we're going to go through, we're going to unbolt this bolt. And then if you look back here, right down there, we're going to undo that one. And we're going to pull this air box out. Alright, and then after you pull that back, you can go ahead and pull this out here. Then after you've removed the intake tube, you can then have more access to the fuel filter. But we're also replacing the hoses. And this hose here runs along underneath here, back, and to the high pressure pump there. So, we're gonna have to get this out of the way too. But don't worry, that's when we're replacing the lines. So if you ain't doing that, don't even worry about it. But we do need to get all this cleaned up here. Yep, we'll get that cleaned up. And now to remove the fuel filter, there's an Allen key right here, an Allen bolt. You need an Allen key to get it out right here. We're going to go through, we're going to get that removed. We're going to get these hoses unhooked, get this sensor unplugged, and we'll pull the old filter out. Alright, and we'll just undo these two hose clamps that have been added to this. They had to apply a ton of pressure to get that one on there. And we'll undo this sensor here. Oh. There we go. And I'll need to undo it with 2 hands. Hold on. All right, now we've got the hoses unhooked. We've got the sensor unplugged. Now we're gonna go through. We still gotta get this back bolt loosened up so that we can pull this out of here. If not, there's also this bolt you can take off, this bolt here, and then there's one right there. If you take off those 3 bolts, you can also pull it out in the little mounting housing. But hold on, I'm gonna see if I can't just get that one out the back and get that out. Have you already doing this? It's a 5mm Allen. Which it's already pretty loose. Well, I'll loosen it out, pull this out of there. Hold on. And just like that, we got it out. And you can see this one's been replaced. It's got 1 Phillips screw and 1 star. Real nice. And in there, it had 2 collars. Yep. They didn't pay much attention when they went to put it back in, apparently. All right, and we'll go over the filters here in a minute, comparing the two and whatever, but yeah. We're gonna also be replacing the lines, as I said, so we'll need to pull this pipe off to go through and replace them lines. To do that, we'll need to go through and remove this right here and undo this resonator, pull it down, pull this pipe off. We need to undo this bolt right here. And then we should be able to pull this pipe off. Now, if you're doing this, there is a gasket in here in this pipe I recommend replacing. Yeah, we'll get to it. Now for removing this, it is a T20 to go through and remove this. We're gonna get it on there good. We got our T20, got our screw out. Now we're going to pull off this collar. And we're going to pull this down. All right. And now that's out of the way. Now we're going to go through and do some more. All right, and then over here, we're going to be removing this bolt, which is an E12 bolt. get that off. Hold on one moment. Now, I would suggest using an E10 socket to take that out. I couldn't find my E12 socket, so the E12 wrench had to work to do that, but yep, got that bolt removed, and we'll go through and remove this pipe. All right. There it is, which our seal was not actually broken, but it was allowing some oil to get by it out of that turbo there. We'll clean this up a little bit, but now with that removed, we have access to the hose that we need to replace. And we need to replace this hose here, and we need to replace this hose here that's actually kind of long. It goes from here all the way down, running this way and up over here to the high pressure. Now we'll go through and we'll get a specialty tool to take that off right there, and we'll get one to take that off right there. So let me go grab that tool. Hold on. And this right here is the tool we're going to use to take off the factory clamps. Most of them have arrows to show you which way to go. That one looks like it's taking it off. That one looks like it's putting it on. Well, let's see if that is the case. So we'll go here to this one. And sure enough, that did that. So like that, it is taking it off. So now we can remove this hose. Well, I'll remove it in a minute. Let's look at trying to get to this one. So this one's in the way right here of this airline, which, let's see, we can pop that out right here, looks like. And this looks like it's got two push tabs on each side. Press those in and then pull out. And it comes right off. All right. So that is freed up out of the way of there. Let's see if we can get this in there to get this off. If not, I might have to just use a screwdriver to take this off. Oh, there it is. All right. Now that we did that, we need to remove this right here, because that's mounted to it, which, hold on one second. All right, so yep, we got to remove that one, and we also got to remove this one. They are both the same E10 we've been using on most of these. Actually, pretty long bolt right there. We don't want to lose any screws. All right. So now, I believe that one's almost free there. Yep. All right, now we'll get these hoses up, out. Hold on one moment. All right, and we are gonna try and first just snake this hose out of the way. Oops, got a little spill there, hold on. All right, with that snaked up here, you can see here is the old one. Here is what the new one looks like. A little different, but very similar. Now we gotta get this hose up. Move the clamp up so we all right, and there's that. All right, so we got one off. Now we gotta get this one off. We got the old hoses, both old hoses that were replaced off. And we do have our replacement hoses. We have our two hoses here. We have our clamps. We're going to go through, we're going to get the hoses in place, then we'll put the clamps on, then we'll put them where they're supposed to go. And yeah, we'll go there. This hose goes here. Actually gonna put the clamp on here. Hold on. All right, and with the clamp there, we're gonna go through, we're gonna put it on. Obviously we're not clamping it down yet, but just so that we have the right clamp on there and stuff. All right, we got that where it's supposed to go. We got our clamp there. And now we'll fish this line in there. This one. Goes through over here. And like that, she's in place almost. Ha! There we go. Now she's in place. All right. Now we're going to put our bolts back. This really, really long bolt goes right here. And then this itty bitty bolt goes over here. And then tighten. Now that we got that one in place, let's go ahead and get the clamp on there and see if we can clamp this one down right here. And yeah, let's get the clamp on there. All right, well, make sure we get the line fully seated. Probably should try to do that before actually mounting it. Alright, get it seated. Hold on one moment, get this clamp in place. And then after you get it in place where you want it to be, the clamp, you're going to go ahead clamp it on. And we got that one clamped. Now we're going to clamp this one right here. And you're going to clamp it right there where the white is. You fucking bitch. You gotta be fucking kidding me. I don't know if you got to hear that one, but that one snapped. Snapped together. I don't have a good place to put my phone while trying to do this. But that is both the fuel lines replaced. Now we'll go through and put the new fuel filter in. Also, don't forget you can put this back. But hold on. Alright, so just a little information here. One, when you take this out, maybe you should pull, like, just see if you have an extra collar in there. If I ever put this one in there, left the collar. But also, it looks like they lost a screw because they put a regular screw in there. But normally it would be a T20 to take this one out. And then they got a Phillips head on this side. But if it works, you know, it works. That's good. And here's our new fuel filter. See, it's got a collar on it. Matches up with the old one pretty well. We just got to get this sensor in here. And we'll go through and we'll do that. Alright. See, we just twist it to the side. Let me move it off that collar. You just twist it to the side and then you pull it up. You want to make sure it's clear of the pipe. Gotta use two hands. Hold on. And when you go through and get it out, you can look at your beautiful diesel in there. And there's your sensor. It needs to go right there. But before you do that, in your box of your filter, it should come with 2 O-rings. You may be asking yourself, where does this O-ring go? Well, I'm going to show you. It goes right there. And right there. And we're going to replace both of those, and we're going to clean this up a little bit and make it look a little nicer. Well, and to replace them, you just need like either a pick or a small flathead screwdriver to take the seal off and replace it with the new ones. Alright, we'll do that and be right back. Alright, and with your new seals installed, set those down here. We're going to pull out the little cap. And you're going to get this seated in here. You need to make sure that it does go through properly. You should feel a little bit of resistance trying to put it in. But it goes right down, just like that. And then you want to twist, sensor back in place, and then take your screws and put your screws back in place. Oh, I need 2 hands. Hold on. And just like that, we got our new filter back together, ready to rock and roll. And with that, we're going to take our new filter and we're going to get it set back in place here. Like that. Look at that. And then with it still being loose, you can move it how you need it, which right there looks good. That way we can get our lines on there where they need to be. We'll get the clamps on there, make sure our sensor's in place where it needs to be, which we're going to go ahead and hook that up. Alright, we got that hooked up. Now, let's see here, there, and there. There we go, right about there looks pretty good. There's this. We can get our clamp on here, and we're going to slide this hose right over top of where it needs to go. And with the filter, it already has a stop right here, so you know when you push it all the way back there, that's where it needs to stop. See the stop? And your little black thing. Kind of cool. Alright, once you got them where you want them, which this one still needs to go forward a little bit more, and so does the other side. There we go. Now that one's fully seated right there. That's what that one needs to be. We need to get that one fully seated to the seat. Right here's the seat, right there is where the hose is. We need to get it up against the seat. Then after you got both of those seated, get my clamp going the right way. Gonna put them right here on this white stripe. Hold on. I need apparently more hands. Hold on. After you have those done, don't forget to tighten up your fuel filter here. There we go. That should be nice and tight. Yep, does not move. Fantastic. Alright, and that's installing the fuel filter and the new fuel lines. Now, to prime the system, you need to turn the key on and off about 3 times. Turn it on, let the fuel pump run, do not start the car, turn it off. Turn it back on, let the fuel pump run, do not start the car, turn it off. Turn it on, do not start the car, let it run for a little bit, turn it off, and then you can turn on and try and start the car. Now, alternatively, I believe you can go through and put a breather hose on here, or tube, or whatever you want. Put a tube on there, run it to a can. You can run the fuel pump, let the fuel pump run, and I believe once fluid starts flowing through the fuel pump, or through the fuel filter, sorry, the fuel would come out of here when the fuel filter's full. Then you should be able to start the car. Helps get the air out of there. Well, hope this video helped. See y'all.